How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like on this video, but let's get right into the topic. So if you're watching this, you're either watching this because you're following me or because you're interested in buying a BMW. Now, there are certain things you should know before buying the car, before buying any car, but I'm just going to talk about things you should know about buying a BMW. If you want me to do a video on things you should know before buying a used car or just a car in general, I will make that video. But let's get right into the video. So most of you are probably aware that this is my car. I have a 2000 BMW M Roadster. But before we get into the facts, let's take it out for a little bit. Got the Christmas board. Oh, the dash lights go away. Alright, so one main thing before buying any car necessarily is you should know what the car is, or what the car is going to do for you. Like, most BMWs are performance and luxury cars. If you're buying an M car, you are buying a performance car. You're not buying a daily driver necessarily, and that is something you have to be ready to pay for. You have to be ready to pay for the car in general, but also expenses on top of that. If you're going to buy an older car, you're going to obviously pay a little bit less. If you buy a higher mileage car, you're going to have more issues. You buy a lower mileage car, you're going to have less issues leading up until then, but you're going to have to pay a little bit more, but you'll have a nicer example, meaning it'll be worth more in the future if you keep it low. That doesn't go with all cars really, but any M car, that is pretty much the rule of thumb. If you're buying an older car, make sure to research what motor you have, because that is a main thing that goes wrong. If you're blowing head gaskets, if you're whatever mechanically is going to go wrong, make sure you're ready to pay for it. Make sure you either have someone who will fix it for a lower rate, because you do not want a BMW dealership doing that, or have someone that you know personally that might be a friend that knows how to work on these cars, or you yourself know how to work on these cars. So now that we kind of got the one thing out, there is one thing that likes to go wrong in older BMWs, which is electronics. Currently my electronics have gone bad. I believe it's a fuse, but you never know with the BMWs. Electronics usually cost a lot of money to fix, so wiring issues, all of that. So make sure you're aware and ready to pay is the main thing you should know before buying an older BMW. You should be ready to pay, you know, a couple $100 more than a normal maintenance. Like, you should be aware of that. This isn't a Honda Accord. This isn't a Toyota Camry. This car is going to perform much better than them in like a straight line in around corners. It's not a better commuter car. It might be a more comfortable commuter car depending on which BMW you do buy, but it is not a more reliable, easy to get from A to B. This is more of a enjoying your A to B experience. That being said, you're probably a little scared. You're like, oh, it's gonna cost me so much money to buy an older BMW, but that is not the case. I bought one. It's something you just have to be ready to pay for a little bit. You should be ready to put a couple $100 worth of, you know, maintenance every single year. Small things go bad, you know, maybe you're gonna have to replace oil pretty much all the time, you know, depending on automatic or manual. You might have to replace the clutch. You're gonna have to replace small things. I'll give you some examples real quick. Now, this isn't necessarily a thing I have to fix, but my steering wheel likes to squeak and is a little off-centered, so I'm gonna get that fixed eventually. Also, another thing, like the shifter's going bad. I'm gonna have to replace the shifter, so that's like you know, probably $100 with both of those combined, and maybe a little bit more. Parts are a little bit more expensive. That sub is blown out, and it has been blown out since I bought the car. Something I knew, but at the same time, it's just something you have to pay for. The clutch is going out soon enough. It'll be nice to do the clutch, and this little like bracket here, the shifter should be here, but it's here. You know, small things like that, you got to be ready for it. Just tiny things. Now, don't be scared from buying a BMW. If you're going to buy an M6, you should be terrified of that car. That car is so unreliable that you are literally going to pay upwards towards $10,000 to $20,000, if not more, per year trying to maintain that car. This car is completely different. You just have to research what car you're truly buying. You have to find, you know, what car. That goes for any car, basically. You have to research how reliable the car is going to be. If you're going to buy an M6, there's probably a reason you're going to buy the M6, and it shouldn't be because it was a cheap car. It should be because you truly enjoy the V10 of that car and you're willing to pay for it. If you're willing to pay for that V10, I mean, that's all you. But for a person just getting into cars that doesn't have that kind of money to blow, do not buy an M6. Do not buy any 7 Series. I'll tell you that right now. Don't buy any 7 Series unless you have warranty. That's something I'm going to get into, but let's take this car out for a quick little drive. So all of the things I just said might be a little scary, like, oh, I'm going to pay so much in maintenance for my car. It is truly not that bad. Like I said, like, this car is not bad at all. If you're going to go buy a Z3, I think it's a very good looking car depending on which one you buy. You can get these cars for a relatively good price, and they're going to be relatively reliable as long as you're getting a car that's not too beat up. You can tell that by certain ways. I will make a whole video on things to look out for in all cars, but in BMWs it's like low mileage is usually where you're safe. If you can see kind of everyday wear and tear things, no big deal. If you're seeing like the car smoking a lot, or like the car isn't running right, like this car is running phenomenally, you can tell that the previous owner, even though it has 80,000 miles, which isn't a lot for this car, because you see these cars going at like 150, the owner took very well care of it, and the car is still running smooth to this day for being a 20-year-old car. Now, you're gonna buy the car to enjoy it. If you're gonna buy the car to, you know, just flex that you have a BMW, it's like you're not buying it for the right reason. You should buy this car if you truly enjoy the brand, if you truly want to enjoy a sports car. You're either gonna, and you're looking probably at a Porsche Boxster, you're looking at a BMW like this, you're looking at maybe a Mercedes, or you might even be looking at an Audi. Now I think the Porsche is a decent option for this price range, or like a lower price range. The Porsche is a great option, but I feel like you're getting a lot more when you're going to buy a BMW. Mercedes never truly made cars like this. They tend to be a little bit more unreliable and a little bit more luxury, and if that's something you're looking for, Mercedes is for you. Again, I couldn't speak on the reliability, but depending on what car you buy, it is a little weird. These cars are all about having fun. These cars are so fun to drive. They're so engaging to drive. These cars sound good, and it's just overall a great experience. And you gotta pay for the experience. You're not paying for a Toyota Corolla. You're paying for a BMW. You're paying for the power. You're paying for the performance. You're paying for the brand name. You're paying for the luxury. And that's just something I feel a lot of people don't understand, because they go buy a BMW 3 Series, and then all of a sudden their 3 Series is blowing this, it's blowing, you know, head gaskets. One, because they're not taking care of their cars. You can't treat this car like a Toyota Corolla. You cannot treat it like a Honda. You go do your oil changes, you take care of the car, you drive it like you care about the car. And you gotta find the previous owner who took care of it. You gotta make sure all oil changes are done. And it's not... Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, watching this video, like, oh my god, BMW sounds like such a hassle. But the thing is, it's not. You just take care of your car like you would anything else. And a lot of people, like in Hondas and Toyotas, kind of just don't change the oil for like 20, 30,000 miles, where recommended is like 10,000 miles. And all you have to do is just simply do that, and you should have a nice, reliable BMW. And that goes for any car. A lot of people don't take care of their cars, which is why these performance cars get a bad rep, is because they cost more than normal cars, and the simple fact that people don't like to take care of them. But before buying the car, make sure to inspect your car. But yeah, be ready to pay. I'm gonna keep saying that in this video. But here's some other things you should know before. You're buying a machine. You're buying a performance machine. You're gonna buy a car that, depending on what you're looking for, it's gonna be either really comfortable or it's gonna be really sporty, and just enjoy the car, really. If you're thinking about buying a BMW, do it. I highly encourage people to buy these cars. They're fun. They drive great. As long as you're willing to pay for the car, nothing should go wrong. That is basically all I have for this video. Just end it off. If you're buying a new car or a slightly used car, make sure to have warranty extensions, warranties. That goes for regardless of any car necessarily. Try to get all the warranties you can, because in ending up, you probably will have some benefit from the warranty. If you're buying a car like this, It's 20 years old. There's no warranty on this car. It's fine because these cars tend to be pretty reliable. Other than that, that's all I got for this video. If you want me to do kind of like a basic, like what to look for when you're buying a used car, what to look for when you're buying a car in general, all of that, I can do that video. I probably will do that video tomorrow, hopefully a how to drive video. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time.